As the sun rises over the rolling hills, casting its golden light upon the earth, we are reminded of the beauty and wonder of the natural world. It is a world that our ancestors knew intimately, a world that sustained them for millennia. But in our modern age, we have lost touch with that world. We have become disconnected from the rhythms of nature, and we have lost sight of our place in the universe. Yet there is a yearning in our hearts, a longing to reconnect with the primal forces that shaped our existence. We feel it in the whisper of the wind, in the rustle of the leaves, in the bubbling of the brook. It is a call to return to our primitive roots, to rediscover the ancient technologies and skills that sustained our ancestors for generations. For too long, we have relied on the conveniences of modern life, on the technologies that have made our lives easier, but have also disconnected us from the natural world. We have forgotten the skills that once allowed us to survive in the harshest of environments, to harness the power of the elements, and to live in harmony with the land. But now, as we face the challenges of a changing climate, a world in crisis, we are called to relearn those ancient technologies and skills. We are called to become self-sustainable, to live in balance with natural world, to relearn the true meaning of life. And so we look at the past, to the wisdom of our ancestors, to the knowledge that has been passed down through generations. We look to the technologies and skills that sustain our ancestors for thousands of years, and we seek to adapt them in our modern world. We learn the art of farming, of growing our own food in harmony with the land. We rediscover the secrets of herbal medicine, of using the healing power of plants to cure our ailments. We learn the ancient arts of weaving and pottery, of creating beauty from the raw materials of the earth. We harness the power of the sun, the wind, and the water, using the renewable energy sources to power our homes and communities. We learn the art of sustainable architecture, of building homes that are energy efficient and in harmony with the natural world. And as we relearn these ancient technologies and skills, we begin to reconnect with the natural world. We begin to appreciate the beauty and complexity of the world around us, to understand our place in the universe. We begin to understand the importance of community, of working together to create a better world. We create networks of self-sustainable communities, sharing our knowledge and resources, working together to create a world that is in harmony with the natural world. And as we relearn the meaning of life, we discover a sense of purpose and meaning that goes beyond the material comforts of modern life. We discover the joy of working with our hands, of creating something from nothing, of living in harmony with the natural world. We rediscover the importance of ritual and ceremony, of connecting with the spiritual forces that guide us. We create sacred spaces in our homes and communities, places where we can connect with the divine and with each other. And as we journey back to our primitive roots, we discover that the true meaning of life is not found in the material comforts of modern life, but in the connections we make with the natural world, with each other, and with the divine. We discover that the true meaning of life is found in the beauty and wonder of the world around us, in the rhythms of nature, in the simple pleasures of life. And so, we embrace the journey back to our primitive roots, knowing that it is not an easy journey, but one that is worth taking. We embrace the challenges and the hardships, knowing that they are a small price to be paid for the richness and beauty that awaits us on the other side. In our journey back to our primitive roots, we discover a sense of connectedness to the natural world that we have never experienced before. We learn to appreciate the simple things in life, the warmth of the sun on our skin, the smell of fresh earth after a rain, the sound of birds singing in the trees. We learn to live in the moment, to savor each experience, and to find joy in the smallest of things. And as we become more self-sustainable, we also become more independent and free. We are no longer bound to the whims of the modern world, to the cycles of consumption and waste. We become more resilient and adaptable, able to weather the storms of life and to thrive in even the harshest of environments. We also begin to rediscover the power of community, of working together for the common good. We come to understand that we are all interconnected, that our actions have an impact on the world around us, and that we can create positive change through collective action. In our journey back to our primitive roots, we also learn to reverie and respect the natural world. We come to understand that we are not separate from the earth, but rather a part of it, and that our actions have a direct impact on the health and well-being of the planet. We learn to live in harmony with the natural world, to tread light on the earth, and to leave behind a legacy of sustainability and stewardship for future generations. The journey back to our primitive roots is not an easy one, but it is a necessary one. It is a journey that calls us to relearn the ancient technologies and skills that sustained our ancestors for thousands of years, to become self-sustainable, and to relearn the truth and meaning of life. It is a journey that calls us to reconnect with the natural world, to find joy in the simple things in life, and to rediscover the power of community and collective action. As we embark on this journey, let us be guided by the wisdom of our ancestors, the beauty and wonder of the natural world, and the deep longing in our hearts to rediscover the true meaning of life. Let us also remember that the journey back to our primitive roots is not about rejecting modernity or progress, but rather about finding a balance between the wisdom of the past and the innovation of the present. We can incorporate ancient technologies and practices into our modern lives, and in doing so create a more sustainable and fulfilling way of living. For example, we can incorporate permaculture principles into our urban gardening, use natural building materials in our homes, and practice mindfulness and meditation to connect with the natural world. We can also learn from indigenous communities around the world who have maintained a deep connection to the natural world and have a wealth of knowledge and practices that can inform our own journey back to our primitive roots. In our quest to relearn the true meaning of life, we must also examine our cultural values and beliefs. We must ask ourselves what truly brings us joy and fulfillment, and whether our current way of living is in alignment with those values. We must also confront the cultural narratives that prioritize individualism and consumerism over community and sustainability, and work to create new narratives that celebrate our connection to the natural world and our interdependency as a species. As we journey back to our primitive roots, we also confront our own mortality and the impermanence of all things. We are reminded that life is fleeting and that our time on this earth is limited. But in that impermanence, there is also beauty and meaning. We are called to cherish each moment, to savor each experience, and to leave behind a legacy that reflects our values and beliefs. In the end, the journey back to our primitive roots is not just about surviving, but about thriving. It is about rediscovering the beauty and richness of life that we have lost in our modern world, and creating a more sustainable and fulfilling way of living for ourselves and future generations. It is a journey that calls us to be brave, to be curious, and to be open to the wisdom of the past and the possibilities of the future. So let us embrace this journey with open hearts and minds, and let us be guided by the spirit of adventure and the longing in our hearts to relearn the true meaning of life.